Hi, Scott Watson here. In this brief video, we're going to explore the point that emotional intelligence, a high level of emotional intelligence, is always a good thing. There's an element of accuracy and also an element of inaccuracy with this blanket statement, and often it's done without any scientific validation or research to underpin the statement. And if you ever find people in your organization that say, oh, she or he over there, they've got really high emotional intelligence, maybe they're not saying that from a validated perspective. They're saying it from an affinity bias perspective, or she or he is really nice or really kind or really empathic or really self-aware, and that's it. But this little overview here is from the EQI 2.0 psychometric assessment tool. It's the world's only scientifically validated EQ psychometric, and permission has been granted for me to share this part of the report from this client as long as their surname is removed. But take a look at this. This is a very senior leader in an organization who was brought in to get a division performing. A division that was under extreme pressure because it had lost hundreds of thousands of pounds in one quarter and was set to lose hundreds of thousands of pounds in the forthcoming quarter because they weren't delivering what they were trusted and expected to deliver on time. So clients were putting claims in against the organisation for late delivery or substandard delivery. This person was brought in to put some structure there and get results achieved. Take a look at this though. From these results, and there's more information about this assessment and the competencies just below the video. This person, first of all, demonstrates a EQ competence of problem solving, 113. That's in the high range. This person's brain and this person become exhilarated, excited and engaged when there's a problem to be solved. Isn't that a great thing? Because this person had been brought in to actually solve a problem, to stop underperformance, stop money being poured down the drain when it didn't need to be, and get some structure. Isn't that a wonderful high-level result to possess in this situation? Also, this person demonstrates a reasonably high level of assertiveness. Assertiveness is we can disagree agreeably, we can argue a point without arguing with each other, and we will stand our ground where it deserves to be stood. But also to partner this, a level of self-awareness is required for it to be really healthy. So the relationship or dialogue can be nourishing rather than punishing. Alongside this, the person has a reasonably high level of stress tolerance. They're able to cope with prolonged periods of stress and extreme pressure, and they just get through it. Now, and optimism is out of balance. So they can cope with stress, they can solve problems, they want to solve problems, but they're not particularly optimistic. You see how the high range result of problem solving and assertiveness may be hindered by this low range level of optimism, but partnering that, empathy. This person's empathy result is 41. This is in the low range. So think of it this way, the high-level results can work in certain situations when there's a position to be stood for, a deadline to be achieved, a level of assertiveness, healthy assertiveness, where it's assertive, not aggressive, or commanding and controlling by default. That can work really well. This person also, with the stress tolerance, what is the risk for this person when the deadline is looming? There's multiple projects to be brought in on time or ahead of time, on budget, right first time. What is the potential risk factor or risk factors for this person's team? Might this person expect that everyone else can deal with and cope with and get through these prolonged periods of stress? This is what was happening. But look at this. The high results are really magnified by the low range level of self-awareness this leader possessed at that point. They weren't aware of the impact they were creating for their team. The emotional climate became unhealthy because this person wanted to solve problems, but only became interested and excited and engaged when there was a problem to be solved. This person would take over problem solving, and managers weren't allowed to manage because this person was so interested in solving problems. Because of the low range level of self-awareness, partnered with a reasonably high level of assertiveness, the team members of the 20 people that were direct reports, which is rather massive for direct reports, people were becoming disengaged. People began to want to leave the organisation. But surely this high level of problem solving should compensate for all that. The job's getting done. No, people weren't enjoying the journey because this leader wasn't aware of the impact that he was creating. He wasn't aware of the choices he was autopilot making that were disabling rather than enabling people's willingness and desire to do a great job, do it right first time on time, to budget, and actually enjoy the journey. So this leader was brought in for a specific role, and it was being achieved, but the journey for the team members, even some stakeholders, even this person's boss, was becoming toxic. It was unhealthy. It was disabling rather than healthy and enabling. So the level of accuracy in terms of high level of emotional intelligence is always a good thing. Not strictly accurate, but neither is it accurate to say people just can't perform if they don't have healthy emotional intelligence. They can perform. Some people just want to perform, get the job done, go home. It's a means to an end. As long as they do what they're doing and they're doing it well and they're doing it to a required standard at least, if not better, wonderful. But take a look. It's not about high range results or low range results. It's about creating an awareness of the need for and value of balance across 15 specific competencies. So the individual, in this case a leader, can manage him or herself more effectively with that awareness, with that realistic optimism, and with self-regard, that inner confidence that is balanced with prudent thinking, healthy relationships, empathy as well, that enable rather than disable great results to be achieved. So that's a brief overview. There's more about these competencies just further down this message, but this is one point to consider when a leader, a manager, or even a colleague, but especially a leader or manager, are wanting to get the job done right first time, on time, every time, ideally, but help people enjoy the journey. And that journey also includes the leader too.